Hello everyone. In this video we're just going to go over the syllabus and review all the important parts of the syllabus. As you know, the syllabus is the contract between the professor or the instructor and the students. So we want to make sure that everything is clear and we are on agreement before we start the semester. So as you can see here, the course is Accounting 1A, Financial Accounting. It doesn't have any prerequisites. Our section is 30986. This is offered in fall 2023. My name is Magdi Farag, and this is my email, and I think the email is the best way to communicate directly with me. This phone number is a virtual phone number, so it doesn't allow me to answer the calls. So if you call this number, it would just take you to a voicemail, and this voicemail would be sent to my email. So if there's some kind of emergency or something you want to inform me about, you can call this number, and I will just get the message, but I won't be able to get back to you. We don't have a class time since this is an online class. We are only going to double check Canvas on a weekly basis every Monday, because every Monday I'm going to post all the new material. But that doesn't mean that you only check it on Monday. I encourage you to be always keeping track of what's going on Canvas, because Canvas is the way that we communicate in this class. The textbook link is this link here, and make sure that you get it through the bookstore, because I think the bookstore has a better deal. And of course, Canvas is the way we communicate together. It's a platform used for Chaffey College and for this class. The homework assignment is going to be through something called Cengage Now, and this is the link for it. So make sure that you register for Cengage Now at the very beginning of the class, and you also need to make sure that you get the code from the text that comes with the textbook. So here's the information about the textbook. I'll leave that for you to read, but just make sure that it gives you access to Cengage Now so you can be able to work on your homework and on the term project. Because remember, there's also a term project required for this class. Other material needed for this class, of course, it's an accounting class, so I expect you to use a simple calculator. Nothing really sophisticated. We don't really need a graphic or a graphing calculator or a scientific calculator or anything like that. Just a simple calculator would do it. You'd also need a notebook, paper, eraser, pencil, of course, internet access, and a valid email address. And I prefer if we communicate always using the Chaffey email account. As I said before, we don't have a prerequisite for this class, so you can just take this class as a freshman at Chaffey. So for the course description, I'll just read it very quickly. It says here, development and communication of financial information that is useful to investors, creditors, and others to make decisions. Course material covered includes the accounting environment, accounting cycle, application of generally accepted accounting principles, well known as GAAP, ethics, financial statements, operating, investing, and financing activities. I know this kind of course description might not make a lot of sense right now, but trust me, by the end of this semester, if you go back and read this course description, it would make a lot of sense to you. So for the student learning outcomes, once you complete this class, you'd be able to identify the steps of the accounting cycle, which is something we're going to be spending a lot of time, especially in the first 4 chapters. You will be able to recognize the role of ethics in accounting, and I think this is something that you'll get across in every chapter we cover. You'll also be able to recognize and define financial statements, and you'll be able to demonstrate knowledge of the accounting cycle and financial statements through analysis, preparation, and interpretation of accounting data. For the objective of the course, I'll leave that for you to read. I know it's a long list here, but trust me, it might not make a lot of sense at the very beginning, but as we complete the class, this is going to make a lot of sense. So please make sure that you just get an idea now, but don't worry about it if you don't understand everything we have. The homework policy is one of those things I want to spend some time on, because I just want to make sure that you are clear on this. All the homework assignments are going to be done on Cengage Now. So make sure that you register on Cengage Now. And to do that, I think you need the access code that comes with the textbook. So I would also be posting a link on Canvas that explains how you register on Cengage Now. For each homework assignment, we're going to have, or for each chapter we cover, there's a homework assignment assigned to it. These homework assignments are not too time consuming, but they require some time. So expect to spend maybe an hour or so going over these homework assignments. Sometimes it might be a little bit longer, but I think practice is very important for this class, because if you just study the material, it's of course that's a good starting point, but I think practicing makes perfect. So this is why the homework assignment is an integral part of this course, and it's needed for better comprehension of the accounting topic. I say here that you might need to spend 10 hours per week for doing the homework assignments and studying. Maybe this is just the maximum number of hours needed for some students who might need to allocate more time compared to others. But I think in general it would be something between 1 hour or 2 hours just for the homework. But reading the textbook is something very important, and it's very critical for succeeding in this class. One thing I want you to also be aware of, we don't have due dates on a weekly basis, even though I still encourage you to complete your homework on a weekly basis. So for each chapter covered, do its related homework, but the deadline is going to be at the end of the semester. So because I always get messages from students who did not complete the homework on time, so that's why I decided let's extend it until the very end, and you keep track of your progress. And the good thing about Cengage Now, it shows you like what are the assignments you need on a weekly basis. But again, the deadline to be completed would be the end of the semester. Another thing that I want you to be aware of, each homework assignment is worth 5 points. And you don't need to get 100% in order to earn the 5 points. If you get 80% or above, in my eyes, from my perspective, this is 100%. So because I know sometimes we get stuck in one little detail here or there, I'm not too much concerned about that. As long as you get more than 80% of the assignment grade, you're going to earn 5 points for that assignment. So another thing that we have in this class is called the class experiences, and class experiences is another way of saying quizzes. And we have online quizzes, and these are based on an exercise that we're going to be doing on a weekly basis. And these exercises would require some calculations, and at the very end there are 4 multiple choice questions, and those 4 multiple choice questions are related to that exercise. So once you answer the 4 multiple choice questions, you earn the 8 points related for the class experience. And these are on a weekly basis. They will start from chapter 2. So from the very beginning, I think the first couple of weeks we won't have any quizzes or class experiences, but starting from week 3, this is where you have to start allocating time for the class experiences. So again, it's one exercise that I'm not going to grade, but the multiple choice part is the part that your grade would be based on. I'm going to drop the lowest 2 class experiences in case like somebody missed an assignment or something, and the highest 10 assignments out of 12 or 10 class experiences out of 12 class experiences that would be given to you are going to be the basis for your grade, and the maximum grade for the class experiences is 80 points. Another similar assignment is what we call it annual report experience, and in financial accounting each company should have its annual report, and an annual report is the financial statements, and they have some additional information. We call them the footnotes or the disclosures, and all these big companies that we know, they have these annual reports. In this course, we're going to use the annual report provided by the textbook, which is Nike. The company Nike, they have their annual reports used in the discussion of the class, and in the very end there is an appendix that explains or shows the annual report for Nike. So they have their balance sheet, income statement, and all the financial statements and the footnotes or disclosures. So based on these, on a weekly basis, but starting from week 5, I'm going to assign like a question that requires some kind of financial analysis. So we're going to apply a ratio that would require you to go back to the financial statements and do some kind of analysis. And you provide your interpretation based on that. So we're going to have 5 of these. We're going to allocate 4 points for each one of these. The total points for, or the maximum grade for the annual report experience is 20 points. So please make sure that you do this. I think it's just a good part of applying what we're learning, because I know many of you here in this class are not going to be accountants. You might be using accounting, but you might not be like doing accounting for a living. So what I really care about is that you can understand how you analyze the financial statements and use the financial information to make decisions. And I think the annual report experience would be a good way of learning this kind of approach. Then we have the term project, and the term project is an individual assignment. You'll have all the time to work on it. I think it would be more feasible to start working on the term project once we complete chapter 4. So after chapter 4, you're ready to work on the term project. And you have until the last day of the semester to submit or complete your term project. The term project is also done on Cengage now, and it works the same way like homework. It's only a longer project, so it's a longer assignment, in other words. So the project is a longer assignment. You need to just make sure that you understand all the inputs in this longer comprehensive kind of question. Alright, so for dropping the course, this is something I don't want to talk about, so I'll leave that for you. Some important dates, again, related to dropping the class, maybe the last day to drop the class without a W is September 4th, and if you miss September 4th, you still have a way to drop the class until October 27th, but you'll receive a W in this case. After October 27th, I think you cannot drop or withdraw this class. Academic integrity, again, I don't need to talk about that. I'm assuming that all my students are honest people, and you are preparing yourself to become a professional. And one important characteristic for a professional person is to have some kind of integrity. So I expect that from my students. And if there's anything that tells me otherwise, again, I think there's some language here I don't want to read, but you can read it. But my expectation is that all of you are going to be honest people. You're providing your individual work and your own work. There's an online course commitment here. It just says here, course commitment is critical to understanding of the material. The nature of accounting is such that each new concept builds upon the former. So your success in the course depends heavily upon regular involvement with the course. So I think I mentioned that in the intro or the welcome video. Procrastination is the biggest enemy for this class. You have to make sure that you are working on track or staying on track. That's one of the challenges in online courses. You have to make sure you have to have your own self-discipline, because without this self-discipline, things were going to accumulate and it's going to be very difficult to catch up. And I want to be a little bit honest to you. Several students, they fall into this trap, and sometimes they can't catch up. So from the very beginning, make sure that you allocate enough time on a weekly basis to study the material. I try to make everything available for you. But at the same time, I think you still have to put some time and effort in order to study this class. Again, if you have any questions down the road, feel free to reach out to me, and my job is to help you as much as I can. Computer labs, this is just some information about the availability of computer labs on the main campus and in other campuses related to Chaffee. Also, the Student Success Center, there's some other information here that you can use. Career Center, for those who are interested to get in touch with the Career Center and get some information. And then the last thing here is the exam policy. So there will be two midterm exams and the final exam. So in total we have three exams. Each exam would cover 4 to 5 chapters. And the exams would consist of mainly from multiple choice questions. In some cases, we might have short answer questions and problems. So the exams would be based on chapter reading, homework, lecture, videos, and the in-course assignments. And all the exams would be through Canvas, so there would be no in-person exams. And to put it this way, the exams will be open book, however, they're timed. So if you're not really prepared, don't rely too much on, oh, I'm going to refer to the book while I'm answering the questions, because you might run out of time if you don't prepare before the exams. Exams will be taken in a scheduled date and time, and these are in the last of the syllabus, at the end of the syllabus here. You'll find a schedule where we have all the exam dates. In very rare cases, I would allow makeups, but I need to have a good excuse or a good reason why you can't take the exam in time. One more thing I want to show to you is the grading. This is the grading how I'm computing, or the grade allocation for this class. So as you can see, homework assignments is about 60 points, representing 12% of the total percentage of this class. So 12%, I think that's a significant amount. So you have to make sure that you work on your homeworks on a weekly basis. Please don't lose these easy points. The class experience, again, other easy points, 16 points. And I give you like several tries to earn the full 5 points for the class experience. So make sure that you take advantage of that. I'm sorry, I said 5 points. I mean 8 points. 8 points for each class experience. So you have several tries. You have to keep trying until you earn the points. So don't give up after the first trial if you don't earn the 8 points for the class experience. The same thing for the annual report experience. We're going to have only 4 of these, 5 points each. So please take advantage of that. And then we have the term project. It's 40 points, which represents 8%. So if you do the math, this is about 40% of your grade. And I call these easy assignments or easy grades to earn in this class. That doesn't mean that the exams are not easy, but they're exams. So sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we're not. But in general, I think that's another thing that would be based on your effort and time you put in the class. So as you can see here, all exams are worth 100 points, and these represent 60% of your grade. So I use A, B, C, D's, and F's. I don't use my pluses or minuses. It's a solid grade. If you're planning to get an A, shoot for 450 and above. But my advice for you, don't really shoot for 450. Try to have a safety margin. Shoot for 460 or 470. Because sometimes we do something and we can miss some points, miss something, or so you don't want to be on the edge. Try to have a safety margin so you can get the grade you earn. So let's say somebody got 448 in this class. What grade are you going to get? I'll try to find a reason for you to get an A. So again, I'm a human being and I want to support you guys, but at the same time, if somebody got like 445, it's a B class. It's a B for this class. But if it's 1 or 2 points away from the next grade, I'll try to find a reason to move you to the next grade. Of course, for this class, you're expected to use calculators for the class experiences and for exams, because we need to do some calculations. But the good thing about accounting, it's not really tough calculations. We only use plus and minus, and in very few cases we do multiplications and divisions, which is not too challenging. If we have any DRC students or disability programs, and I mean DPS students, please let me know and I'll take care of that. I'll make all the arrangements to give you the allocated time for you. There's also something called the Panther CARE program. I'll leave that for you also to get more information about it, because it provides some assistance for students. That's the schedule of the class. As you can see, in week 1, which starts today, we are going to have just an introduction and the syllabus overview. I just want you to browse around or check Canvas. Make sure that you understand the syllabus, you understand how things work on Canvas. And then starting from week 2, we're going to have to start chapter 1. And this is where things will get to be more interesting. And then from chapter 2 on the third week, we're going to have the first class experience. That will cover chapter 1 and 2. So the first exam would be on September 18th, and it's going to cover the first 4 chapters. The second exam is on October 30th, and it's going to cover the next 5 chapters, chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then the final exam is going to be on December 11th, and it's going to be covering chapter 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And the exam here would be limited in the time, like 2 hours, and it's going to be through campus. So I hope this was informative. I'm sorry if it took longer than what I was planning for, but I think it's important. As I mentioned at the very beginning, this is the contract between you and me, so I want to make sure that everything is clear. So please feel free to reach out to me by email if you have any questions, and I wish you all the best and good luck in this class.